Welcome to the deep dive. We focus on extracting core wisdom, getting straight to the point from our sources.
That's the goal. Clarity from complexity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today we're immersing ourselves in the philosophy of Admiral William H. McRaven. It's all about, well, leadership, resilience, personal strength, rooted in some pretty high-stakes experiences.
Definitely high stakes.
Our mission here is to pull out the really high-impact sort of rules of engagement from his work.
Yeah, I can.
Specifically, we're looking at his famous speech, McRaven, Failure, Strength, and Challenge, and combining that with some key quotes from his book, Make Your Bed.
Two really strong sources there.
Definitely. And the goal for you listening is pretty straightforward. Understand how accepting struggle isn't just, necessary sometimes, but maybe it's the fastest path, like a shortcut to finding out what you're really capable of.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because intentionally seeking hardship, that sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It absolutely is counterintuitive to how we mostly live today.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's probably why it's so powerful. McRaven's core idea, really across all his stuff, is turning the modern mindset on its head. We usually try to make things easier, smooth things out.
Minimize friction, right.
Exactly. But he suggests that real strength, the kind that matters, is only built when you face maximum resistance.
Okay, maximum resistance.
And these aren't just theories, They come directly from the intense physical and mental stress of SEAL training.
Right, the crucible.
Yeah, and then leading in those environments. The whole philosophy, embrace failure, build strength, conquer challenges. It comes straight from needing to perform under, extreme pressure.
You had to learn it to survive, basically.
Pretty much. You had to figure out that strength isn't something you just have. It's something you build constantly by choosing the harder path.
So it's more than just gritting your teeth and getting through discomfort. It's actively using it.
Yes, that's the shift.
We hear that phrase sometimes, embrace the suck. And even if McRaven doesn't use those exact words in these sources, the message feels identical, right? The moment things are toughest, most unpleasant, that's your biggest opportunity for growth.
That's precisely it. That moment of undesirable stress is your, let's say, evolutionary stimulus. It forces adaptation.
Okay.
And if you connect that back to, wanting to learn quickly, wanting that shortcut, this approach is really about efficiency.
How so? Suffering as efficiency sounds like another contradiction.
Well, think about it. Staying comfortable, doing what's easy, that leads to slow incremental growth, maybe.
If any.
Right. But discomfort, or deciding to face resistance intentionally, it forces you to adapt now, exponentially. You're basically speeding up the learning curve by turning up the dial on the stressor.
That clicks perfectly in a military or tactical setting. Makes total sense if your life depends on getting stronger fast. You pick the hardest training. But how does that translate, let's say, to an office job or just, daily life, constantly seeking discomfort? Doesn't that just lead straight to burnout?
That's a really important distinction. It's not about chasing pointless suffering. It's about intentional resistance.
Okay, intentional. What does that look like practically?
In the professional world, it could mean taking on that project that pushes your skills way beyond your comfort zone.
The one everyone else avoids.
Maybe. Or volunteering for a role you don't feel quite ready for. Or maybe just starting that conversation is going to be difficult, but necessary.
Got it. So it's calculated risk, in a way.
Calculated and voluntary. McRaven's experience suggests that without deliberately stepping into that resistance, you're just maintaining. You're not growing.
Just treading water.
Exactly. If you only do things you already know you can nail perfectly, you just stay who you are. To shift from maintenance gear into acceleration, you've got to engage the growth engine, and that engine runs on discomfort.
Okay, so discomfort is the fuel. Then failure must be the inevitable exhaust fumes, right?
That's one way to put it.
Because if struggle is the foundation, you have to accept what comes with it. And McRaven is crystal clear. You can't push limits without risking failure, actually inviting it.
Inviting it is a good word. It has to be part of the plan.
And this is where we shift from the why to the how, drawing on Make Your Bed. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Lay it on us.
Okay, the first big principle about limits, he writes, life is a struggle, and the potential for failure is ever present. Without pushing your limits, you will never know what is truly possible.
Notice that wording. It's so specific.
Yeah.
It doesn't say failure might happen if you're unlucky.
Yeah.
It says the potential for failure is ever present.
Yeah.
Always there.
Like a shadow.
Exactly. It's baked into the system of any ambitious life. It's not some weird bug you try to avoid. It's a fundamental feature you have to navigate, maybe even seek out.
Seek out failure. That still feels wrong.
Well, think of it this way. If you're genuinely ambitious, failure is just the signpost telling you you've reached the edge of what you can currently do.
Ah, okay. It's data.
It's crucial data. So the implication for you, the listener, is huge. If you aren't failing sometimes, you're probably playing it too safe.
Staying inside the lines.
Right. Staying within known boundaries guarantees comfort, sure. But that comfort also guarantees your ultimate potential stays locked up, completely unknown.
Okay, but let's push back on that a little. McRaven's context is military. Pushing limits might mean physical survival or mission success versus catastrophic failure.
Sure.
In my world, say, the corporate world, if I push a limit and fail, spectacularly launch a product that bombs, lose a major client, costs the company millions, the consequence isn't just learning, it could be, professional disaster. Game over.
That's a fair challenge. It's about understanding the stakes, absolutely.
So is this philosophy maybe too aggressive for everyday life? Could it lead to self-destruction instead of resilience?
I don't think McRaven's advocating for recklessness. Not at all. It's about knowing the difference between quitting too early and genuinely failing right at your limit.
And failure at the limit is different.
It's incredibly information-rich. It tells you exactly where your current system, your skills, your plan, where it broke down. Professional oblivion often comes less from the failure itself and more from how you respond to it, or fail to respond.
The inability to recover and learn, you mean?
Exactly. Discovering what's truly possible. That hinges on being willing to face that high-stakes boundary sometimes. If you deliberately avoid any situation where significant failure could happen, you're basically deciding, consciously or not, to cap your potential.
Ouch, that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is. It forces a choice. Push into the unknown, risk failure, or stay comfortable and never know your full capacity. Your potential remains theoretical.
Okay, so accepting failure philosophically is one thing, but then you actually push, you try something hard, oh wham, you hit the wall. The system breaks. What then?
Right. What do you do in that moment of pain, maybe embarrassment, setback?
Yeah. And McRaven gives us this incredibly vivid metaphor for that. It's slightly horrifying, honestly. The sugar cookie.
Yes, the sugar cookie. Not as nice as it sounds.
Not at all. Before we get into the steps for recovery, can you just quickly paint the picture? What was the sugar cookie in SEAL training? It sounds like public humiliation.
It was precisely that. It was a ritualized, very public, and deeply miserable punishment for failing to meet a standard, usually during Hell Week.
Hell Week, okay.
So you fail an inspection, maybe you miss a time for an evolution. The instructors order you into the freezing cold Pacific Ocean, that you crawl out onto the beach and roll in the sand until you are completely coated, head to toe. You become a walking sugar cookie. You're freezing cold, the wet sand chafes everywhere, weighs you down, and you stay like that, utterly uncomfortable, often for hours, while continuing training.
Wow. So it's the ultimate visible sign of failure. Everyone sees it, even if you tried your absolute best.
Exactly. Even if it wasn't entirely your fault, maybe. And the lesson that comes after that experience, that's the real recipe for resilience.
Okay, let's hear it. This is the second key quote. Right?
Yes. He says, sometimes no matter how hard you try, you still end up as a sugar cookie. Don't complain. Don't blame it on your misfortune. Stand tall, look to the future, and drive on.
Okay. Simple words, but seems packed with instruction, like a blueprint.
It is. 5 direct commands for how to respond when failure hits. It's structured, actionable. Much more than just saying, get back up.
The first 2 commands really jump out because they're things not to do. They're prohibitions, stopping negative thoughts before they even get going.
That's right. And the psychological impact of those first 2, don't complain and don't blame, it's huge.
Why those 2 first?
Because when you fail, what's the immediate, almost instinctual reaction? Often it's, this isn't fair. Or, if only X hadn't happened. Deflection, self-pity.
Sure, makes sense.
McRaven says, stop that immediately. First, do not complain about how uncomfortable, how unfair it feels. Complaining just wastes energy, turns it inward, and keeps you stuck in the feeling of the failure.
Okay, no complaining. Then the second one.
Second, do not blame it on your misfortune. This one is maybe even more critical for growth.
Why? Sometimes things are just bad luck, aren't they?
Maybe. But blaming external factors, the bad weather, your difficult boss, the economy, whatever, lets you off the hook.
It removes responsibility.
Completely. If it's just misfortune, then there's nothing to learn, is there? You just wait for your luck to change. It prevents you from looking at what you could have done differently.
Wow, that's powerful. Because even if external factors did play a role, refusing to blame them forces you to look inward.
It forces the learning switch on. You have to ask, okay, given those circumstances, what was within my control? What could I adjust next time? You shift focus from the unfairness outside to the response inside.
Got it. So only after you've blocked those two backward-looking reactions, complaining and blaming, can you actually move forward.
Exactly. Then come the 3 action steps. The what to do now.
Right. Let's break down those final 3. They seem to be the practical engine for recovery.
Okay, the first action is stand tall.
Physically or mentally?
Both, I think. It's about owning it, acknowledging the reality. You're the sugar cookie, cold, sandy, uncomfortable. The failure happened. It's yours. Standing tall means facing it squarely, not minimizing it, not hiding, taking ownership.
Facing reality head on. Okay.
What's next? The 4th step. Look to the future. This is about regaining focus on the bigger picture, the mission.
So don't get bogged down in the immediate failure.
Right. Don't let the momentary setback derail the whole objective. Your focus isn't the sand sticking to you right now. It's the goal you still need to achieve later today or next week or next year. Maintain that long-term perspective.
Keep your eyes on the prize, essentially. And the final command, the most famous one.
Drive on.
Drive on. Just 2 words.
But they capture everything about willpower and forward momentum, don't they? It's the command to keep moving, keep executing, keep putting in the effort, regardless of the discomfort, the embarrassment, the weight of that failure.
It's resilience boiled down to an action verb.
Pure resilience in action. It's the immediate, non-negotiable decision to keep going. No hesitation.
So if we apply that sugar cookie sequence to, say, that blown project budget we mentioned earlier.
Okay, let's try it. Massive budget overrun happens.
Yeah.
Step 1, don't complain about how unfair the market conditions were.
Right. Step 2, don't blame the junior person who made a spreadsheet error, even if they did.
Exactly. Step 3, stand tall. Own the overrun in your report to leadership.
Yeah.
Face the music.
Step 4, look to the future. Immediately focus on mitigation, damage control, recovery planning. What's the path forward?
And step 5, drive on. Start implementing those fixes now. Make the tough calls, rally the team, push forward.
It turns it from a paralyzing event into a structured recovery process.
A complete recipe for turning setback into a springboard, potentially.
That gives you, listening, a really practical mental checklist for when things inevitably go wrong. Instead of maybe stewing for days.
Or complaining or blaming.
Right. You have 5 steps to channel that energy into productive recovery.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, kind of synthesize what we've distilled today, we've got these core pillars for accelerating your potential.
Yeah, let's recap those.
Okay, pillar 1, strength isn't found in comfort. It's built intentionally. In discomfort, you have to seek resistance.
Pillar 2, you only discover your true potential, what's really possible, by pushing your limits right up to the point of failure. Failure is the marker.
And pillar 3, when that failure happens, because it will, you have a specific way to respond. Reject complaining, reject blaming. Instead, activate ownership, focus on the future, and drive on. Take action.
These lessons feel really solid because they directly challenge that basic human instinct to avoid pain, avoid difficulty.
They do. McRaven essentially teaches that pain isn't something to detour around. It's actually the main road you have to travel to discover who you can become.
The road to discovery. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's leave you with a final thought to chew on, connecting these ideas about limits and resilience.
Okay.
If failure is, as McRaven suggests, both guaranteed and necessary for growth, if it's the only real way to measure and expand what's truly possible for you, then what specific, meaningful limit are you going to push today? Not necessarily aiming to succeed this time, but pushing just to find out, just to discover the true measure of your own capacity right now. What limit needs testing?
That's the challenge.
Go forth. Maybe embrace a little bit of that intentional challenge and keep exploring these themes of strength and resilience. We'll see you on the next deep dive.